Listen to a lecture in a history class. Do you ever wonder why California is called the Golden State? Well, I'll give you a hint. It has to do with the gold rush. On January 24, 1848, a man by the name of James W. Marshall discovered gold at Coloma, east of San Francisco. He was working on a farm when he saw something glittering in the river. He took a closer look and found out it was gold. When word got out that there was gold in California, people from all over the world came to strike it rich. There were lots of stories of men who came to California and became rich instantly through finding gold. Some of these stories were true, and some of them were exaggerated. There were also many men who couldn't find anything and who ended up broke. Many men also got injured from mining from gold, and some even died. Some people got rich in California not by finding gold, but by offering various services to miners. Store owners made a lot of money by selling products to miners at extremely high prices. Some women also offered the high-priced cooking and laundry for the miners. Mining for gold became increasingly competitive as more and more men arrived. There were frequent fights about who had the right to look for gold. Many of these fights ended up being violent. Miners who were not white, such as those from Mexico, Peru, Chile, and even the United States, were attacked for trying to steal American gold, even though they had every right to look for gold just as everyone else did. Because of the gold rush, California seemed to change overnight. Its population increased dramatically and its towns opened up many new shops and businesses. That's why, to this day, California is known as the Golden State. How does the teacher develop the main topic?
Questions 1 through 4.
Listen to a lecture in a science class.
Have you ever wondered how inventions were developed? Although a lot of important inventions were planned, many were not. Sometimes they happen simply by chance when people are looking for something else. Let's take a look at a few examples. Perhaps the discovery of penicillin is broadly known as an example of an accidental invention. In 1928, a Scottish scientist by the name of Alexander Fleming was studying a strain of bacteria known as Staphylococcus. Well, for a few days he went away on vacation, and when he came back, he noticed something unusual. The petri dish, which was used to cultivate the bacteria, was contaminated with a mold called Penicillium notatum. He found that this mold prevented the bacteria from growing. This is how the popular antibiotic penicillin was invented. Another example of an accidental invention is the microwave oven. In 1945, Percy Spencer was testing the magnetron, a tube that produces microwaves, in his lab. One day, Spencer was walking in front of the tube when he noticed that the candy bar in his pocket melted. It was then that he realized microwaves could be used to heat food. A year later, he designed the world's first microwave oven. The ubiquitous Post-it notes is also an invention that was created by accident. A researcher who worked for 3M named Spencer Silver created very weak glue in the late 1960s. It was not suitable for tape, and even he couldn't think of what to do with the super weak glue. As it turned out, a co-worker of Silver, Art Fry, found a use for this mild glue. Fry was flipping through his hymnal in church when he wished that he had some sort of bookmark that he could use to find a page without damaging the book. Silver's glue on a strip of paper was the perfect solution. Fry was sure many people would buy the product, but 3M disagreed. In fact, it took several years before they decided to develop Post-it notes. Eventually, the company decided to test the product in 1978, and it was a great hit. Some foods were invented by accident as well. Consider potato chips. Who would ever think to cut a potato so thin? Well, a cook by the name of George Crumb in 1853 was working at a restaurant when a customer complained that his French fries were too thick. Crumb became very angry and decided to play a joke on his customer. He cut a potato into extremely thin slices with a razor, which he then fried. However, against his expectation, the customer loved the new fries, and one of the most popular snack foods was born.
Now get ready to answer the questions. You may use your notes to help you answer. 1. What is the main topic of the lecture? 2. According to the lecture, which of the following is not true? 3. How does the teacher organize the main topic? 4. Listen again to part of the lecture, then answer the question.
The ubiquitous Post-it notes is also an invention that was created by accident. A researcher who worked for 3M named Spencer Silver created very weak glue in the late 1960s. It was not suitable for tape, and even he couldn't think of what to do with the super weak glue.
Why does the teacher say this?
It was not suitable for tape, and even he couldn't think of what to do with the super weak glue. Questions 5 through 8.
Listen to a lecture in a microbiology class. Hello, everyone. Today we're going to learn about microorganisms. What is a microorganism? Well, the word micro means very small, and organism means a living thing. To be more precise, a microorganism, also known as a microbe, can only be seen under a microscope. Microorganisms include protists, bacteria, viruses, fungi, and so on. As a matter of fact, there are practically trillions upon trillions of microbes in the world at this very moment. Microbes can be divided into either heterotroph or autotroph. Heterotrophic microbes feed on others. Most microbes are heterotrophic. They get their source of energy either by attacking a living host as parasites or by scavenging dead matter or waste. Heterotrophic microbes help nature by breaking down garbage. Examples of heterotrophic microbes include fungi, bacteria, and protozoa. In contrast, autotrophic microbes are able to create their own food and energy. In nature, they also act as a source of food for other organisms. An example of an autotrophic microbe would be green algae. Well, microbes can be either helpful or harmful. Let's take a look at some of the microbes that actually help us. Good bacteria make life possible. Plants depend on bacteria attached to their roots to help them absorb nitrogen from the soil. In addition, animals, such as cows, depend on bacteria to help them digest grass in their stomach. Another example of a good microbe is a fungus. Baking bread involves yeast, a type of fungus, that is required to make the dough rise. But there are some bad microbes. Some fungi can be bad, such as the Phytophthora infestans, which infect plants and was responsible for the Great Irish Potato Famine. Bad bacteria can cause diseases. An example of bad bacteria is E. coli, which can be found in meat. People who are infected by E. coli through undercooked meat become extremely sick and may even die. Other bad microbes that make us sick are viruses. When we catch a cold or the flu, it is because of a virus. There are other viruses that are far more serious, such as pneumonia, rabies, or meningitis. You may wonder why scientists study such tiny organisms. Well, by examining the behavior of microbes, researchers can learn how the human immune system battles against them. Many vaccines, including the familiar flu vaccine, were in fact developed from weakened microbes. Thus, the study of microbes is an increasingly important part in modern medicine. Now get ready to answer the questions. You may use your notes to help you answer. 5. How does the teacher explain the harmful aspects of microbes? 6. According to the lecture, what is used to classify microbes? Choose 2 answers. 7. According to the lecture, which of the following is not true? (8) What can be inferred from the lecture?